always wrong?
They are guesses at the end of the day, right? And if we were right with our estimates, we'd call them facts. So when you look at estimating, you're essentially trying to make a projection into the future of what might happen, and it's always very unpredictable. So it's very difficult to be always right with estimates. Sometimes you can get lucky. If you build enough empirical data and evidence, then you can use that to make some reasonable projections in the near term. But the further out into the future you go, the temporal distance, the further it goes away, the less your accuracy is going to be. In fact, if you try too hard to make your estimates accurate, you're going to make them less accurate. So it's one of those counterintuitive things.
So if estimates are wrong or they're difficult to do and are often wrong, why do them?
You might want to open up the conversation around estimation just to get more information value out of it. But if you spend too much time doing that, then the information value in having that discussion dramatically drops. You might want to set expectations with other people about why and when things are going to happen. It is much better to be honest and truthful than to make up a lie, right? I find that just generally providing an estimate only on the basis of conversation is a very, very weak answer. On the other hand, if you build some empirical data by doing the work, and through that you justify your projections and forecast, you're actually using the information that you learned in the act of doing the work, because that's where most of the work is actually discovered.
What types of empirical data do you find are most important in terms of kind of fostering that conversation and getting that knowledge?
I'd look at lead time or cycle time. The cumulative flow diagram is, the elements in that are very, very helpful. What you could do, because it might get really complicated, because at some point you want to see what is the cost of collecting information and is the benefit commiserating equivalent to the cost of me doing all of this work. So if it is too expensive in your organization and you need to put one or two people just to collect data, you might want to just start looking at it from the standpoint of what's the throughput in terms of how many items go through a particular stage. It's fairly straightforward. It's like drawing a line on a freeway and probably looking over from a skyscraper and then just counting the number of cars that are going in. If you have 10 cars going at 5 p.m., the likelihood that at 5:02 and 5:03 and at 6 p.m. it'll be somewhere around 10, right? That's good enough information from now, and you're actually using the change in throughput to inform what the near-term projection could be.
How do estimates hinder business agility?
They anchor benefits. And in fact, if you are estimating, you're predisposing yourself to a solution. Because for you to come up with an estimate, you have to imagine what the solution might be like and then figure out what work you're going to do. So if you are already predisposed to a decision, you're not open to other options. So what tends to happen is when you look out at a project and you identify here are 5 or 6 features that we need to do, and then we estimate them out, in reality, we always underestimate. It's psychologically true that humans are not prone to estimating correctly. So when you underestimate and you are now working and now you're getting late in delivering the work, you have locked down your options in finding alternative paths to delivering similar outcomes, because the focus has all this time been on output, right? It's very hard. I hope in software industry people realize that we never sell software by the pound. It's not tomatoes, right? It's the value, what you get out of the software, that's more important than how many features you deliver.